Hey, how's it going? It's Saturday afternoon and I'm on my way to go look at a couple of used beach cruisers. Beach cruisers are hard to come by over here in Bangkok. They just call them cruiser bikes. And when you can find one, I found a new one for 17,000 baht. It's a lot of cash. There's a couple old Schwinn's. One says it's a 1999, another one says it's a 2002. And both those guys want 10,000 baht. Well, I'm on my way out to this used bike shop. It's out in Lat Phrao, which is kind of a ways away. But I think they're Chinese kind of bikes because they're each for, I want to say right under 4,000 baht. I don't really care about spending a couple $100 on a decent bike, but I don't really want to spend $500 or $600 on a new, probably brand new Chinese bike. Forget about getting a really good, well, even a Schwinn, anything like that's going to be top dollar over here. So I ordered a car on Bolt. I was canceled 3 times. I think it's just they get better offers. And to go on GrabCar, it was about 450 baht. So I'm going to walk up to the train and then transfer to the subway and head to the Lat Phrao station and then take a motorbike or motor taxi from there. And plenty of tourists are rolling back into town. Those folks looked Korean. But I see suitcases walking up and down towards the hotels every day. Again, Bolt is, it's probably the best bargain compared to Grab price. Grab's actually more than the price of a cab. But it's convenient, everybody knows what the price is going to be. Oftentimes cab drivers these days, they all have broken meters and then they'll just demand what they demand. So if you can, it's easiest to just get on the train, get on the subway, get as close as you can, and then take that cab or motor taxi the last mile. But sometimes you just want to jump in a car and go. I ordered 3 cars. One of them made me wait about 20 minutes. And then, I don't know, it looked like he was not even 2 blocks away, and then he canceled. So it can get a little frustrating when you want to just get somewhere to wait an hour for the car. I could have already been there on the train. And I'm not expecting much for, what is that, right under 4,000 baht. But if the wheels are straight and the thing halfway gets down the street, it's just going to be my running around the neighborhood bike. And once again, that's not really worth paying $500 or $600. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get the bike home. There is a Lala Move or LA Move. I'm not sure which is which. For hopefully like 400 or 500 baht, they'll throw it in the back of a truck. Once again, the problem is traffic and whether they want to accept the ride or not. You can't take a bike on the subway. They're not that transportation friendly. But I'll figure it out. Let's get out there and see if it's even worth buying. And then I'll figure out how to get it home. So the first leg of the journey, I'm gonna go from Pom, just one station up to Asok. I could easily have walked it, but I'm walking right by the train station, so just as easy to jump on. Then I'm gonna transfer the MRT subway, and I think head out to Lat Phrao. I'm not sure, 10, 12 stops maybe from Sukhumvit, I'm not sure. I've been by there on the way to Don Mueang Airport, but this will be the first time getting out around Lat Phrao. Then I'll track this bike shop down. It's getting a little cooler and windy, so hopefully it doesn't start pouring on me. The Asok BTS junction with the Sukhumvit MRT subway and Terminal 21. It's always a busy spot. This is 2:30 in the afternoon on Saturday. And now we have to head down below into the subway. Now I have a rabbit card for the BTS, just load money on it, nice and convenient. I don't ride the MRT enough. I know they have a card, but some of the lines, it gets a little tricky over here. There's the blue line, red line, yellow line, and they're all connected, somewhat connected. Sometimes you have to walk a half a block to get to the next station, and the reason being is each line is built by a separate company with a separate pay system, and they don't always work well with one another. They most of the time will do their best to connect the lines so you can go from one to another, but oftentimes you have to pay a different pay system. Certainly you can't use the BTS card like in a lot of countries where one card does everything. Taxis, 7-Eleven, buses. Not here. I'm just going to get a separate single ride ticket. I don't ride the MRT enough to justify a card. And there's also some lines you need to do your homework on. Some lines accept Wi-Fi payment on the phone on an app, and others, I think they accept the Visa card, but once again, I'm not sure. It's just as easy for me to come over and buy a single trip ticket. You can do the machine, or that's not too bad a line. Wait over there to break larger bills and just tell them where you're going, and they'll give you the little poker chip. And it's not as far as I thought. It's 7 stops, 31 baht, so a little under $1 to go from Sukhumvit to Lat Phrao. And unlike a lot of major cities around the world, the subway system and train system here in Thailand are spotless and super, super safe. They're just very busy, as you can see. Sometimes you might have to wait 2 trains to pack in. This train might pull up and it's packed full, and still these 10 people are going to try to squeeze in this cart. The trains normally run, I believe, from 5 in the morning till midnight. Sometimes you can catch a train at like midnight, 12 to 12:15, depending. But midnight is supposed to be the cutoff. And we're coming up to the Phetchaburi station. If you're arriving from Suvarnabhumi, the airport link will take you to Phetchaburi. Then you jump on the MRT, come up 1 stop, and you're at the Sukhumvit and the BTS. So this is the airport rail stop. There's another one up by Victory Monument. I think it's at Payatai, but I'm not sure. I'm a Phetchaburi guy. And here's Lat Phrao Station. It took 12-13 minutes to get up here. No big deal. Crossed right across all that traffic. The problem is, when I sent a message, it was an online app, asking what's the closest train, she said Lat Phrao. And then I just jumped on the train and said to myself, I'll figure it out when I get there. What she failed to mention is we're still 5-6 miles away from the bike shop. So I need to now jump in a cab. I really don't want to sit on the back of a motorbike racing through 5 miles of Bangkok traffic. This is an example of what I was talking about. I just got off the Lat Phrao line and walked outside. You then need to walk over here, up where those people are going, and down to connect to the yellow line in the MRT system. So it's not linked entirely together. Sometimes it's a half a block apart, sometimes it's a block and a half apart. Okay, sometimes you just need to pick your battles. I just jumped in a cab here. Grab said it was 190 baht ride from the Lat Phrao station. He did turn the meter on, so let's see if it beats the Grab price. Usually, or Bolt actually, Grab would probably have been 270. Grab's always a little bit more. But when they turn the cab on, or the meter, that's usually the best deal. The trouble is, up in Sukhumvit and the touristy areas, they don't turn that meter on a lot. I'm nowhere near Sukhumvit. In fact, I don't know this area at all. So I'm not gonna waste too much time. It's 3:30 and this shop closes at either 5 or 5:30. And hopefully I can find myself a beach cruiser. I don't know a lot about this Lat Phrao area. It took me less than 15 minutes from the Sukhumvit MRT stop to get out here. I do know every time I talk to a Thai person, they seem to live out here. I think Lat Phrao is kind of the en route from Asok towards out in that direction. This Lat Phrao's maybe a little bit further, maybe like the Udom Suk distance, heading out from Sukhumvit MRT towards this Lat Phrao way. So I think you can get some affordable deals out here. Once again, you're just a little ways from the touristy area, but that might be okay. And I'm noticing I'm an idiot. We're traveling parallel to the airport train, so I think I should have got off at Hoa Quang airport train link. So I think she gave me 2 options. The Hoa Quang, which I thought was a BTS station, and I knew that was further away, or Lat Phrao was the closest MRT, which wasn't close at all. But you live and learn. And there's the Our Lady of Fatima bus station. I went to Our Lady of Fatima in San Clemente for a couple of 2 years. Okay, so there wasn't much to film at the bike shop. It was just like 20 or 30 bikes, but she had 1, yellow beach cruiser, so I got a lemon yellow beach cruiser. It's just like, it looks like a Chinese model. I didn't pay anything for it. $3,500. And it's sticking out of the back of my cab, so hopefully it doesn't fall out along the way. And again, I kind of had to hustle out of there because I had my cab waiting. She offered delivery, but I wasn't sure if I would have had to wait an hour or so, so I just had my cab stand by. All right, we stopped on the freeway, or toll road actually, to readjust our... I'm not sure you're supposed to have a bike in the trunk like this, but I just don't want to bust a guy's tail light. I don't want to pay for it, and I'd feel obligated. There's some used 125s, 18,500 baht, 19.5 I think for that 125 click. I'm just not in a big hurry to zoom around Bangkok on a motorbike. It's just crazy traffic, and I'll probably make some bad decisions. So we'll stick with a push bike for now. That was a crazy afternoon. I got my $99 yellow banana colored bike here. I would have preferred a black, but the black was, she had two blacks and this yellow, and the blacks had a 3-speed. And I didn't want to deal with cassettes and all that on a used bike. This one, nothing wrong with it. I think it's a Japanese brand. I don't even know. It's got a couple stickers on it. Ship Point Wharf, whatever that means. Cycle Spot Wharf. And it had a sticker over here, something Japanese. Samurai something or another. Kuba Bushi. Whatever. It doesn't look like it's too beat up, although the tires are gone. They're still holding air, but yeah, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to use these tires without getting flats all the time. It doesn't have a pedal brake. I'm not sure. I don't know enough about bikes if I can put that little gear back there or whatever that thing is just to slam the brakes on. It has hand brakes, front and back, which once again in the Bangkok rain, this bike's going to get thrashed. I would just prefer slamming on the pedal brakes, but I'll look into how easy that is to swap out and how much effort I want to waste on it. I really didn't want to waste, probably turned into a 4-hour deal. I took the train out to Lap Prau. She told me, it was a little kitty. She told me that was the closest MRT, and it was. It's just it was 10 miles from the bike shop. I should have took the airport rail link. Either way, I still had to take a long cab ride. It was about 250 baht from the train to get the bike, and then we put it in the back of that guy's cab, and I was just afraid we were going to tear up the plastic. It kept banging around, and worst case was the thing was just going to fly out on the toll road, in which case I would have said just keep going. But it got here. So all in all, with cabs and everything, I'm into this about 115 bucks, so that should do me fine for a while. And if I find myself really using a bike all the time, well, maybe I'll drop 400 or 500 on something nice, but for now this is fine. The one thing about living over here that I'm kind of getting adjusted to is I'm just so spoiled. In the US, you can walk into any store, if it's a Walmart, a Target, wherever, and not go 20 feet and get everything you need. Now this beach cruiser, that's a little bit more of a specialty item, but in San Diego, now that's a beach town. Right off top of my head, I know 10 places where I can go get a brand new beach cruiser for 200 bucks. You can get a top of the line one for 500, where over here, not one single bike store was selling them. You have to import them and then put them together, which is not that big a deal, but I'm impatient. I want to walk into the store and walk out 5 minutes later with my bike. And even this used one, there were 3 used ones right now for sale, 2 Schwinn's, and those go like Harley Davidsons over here, top dollar. I mean, they still wanted for 20-year-old bicycles, which are probably in worse shape than this one. They still wanted, it was 500 bucks or more because it was a quote-unquote Schwinn. And I don't need all that. If I'm going to spend 500-600 bucks, it's probably not going to be on a brand new Schwinn in Bangkok, but it'll be something that's brand new. Now this is a moving van over here. This is what I should have hired, or at least a pickup truck. The Lala Move service, you can hire a car, an open truck or these closed trucks, and they were surprisingly cheap. I looked it up from the bike shop to here. It was, I think it was less than 500 baht, but I just gave that cab driver with a nice tip. I gave him 450 baht, and he just sat there and waited for me when we got to the bike shop, and we stuffed that thing into the back of his cab and off we went. I guess it was a very small chance it could have flew out of the back of that trunk, in which case I'm out $100 and I'm okay with that, rather than sitting waiting for the moving truck to show up an hour later. So I'll go get a couple of basic tools and have my running around town bike, and that worked out just fine. Thanks for following along and checking out my little Bangkok video. This is looking down Sukhumvit Soi 26. If you want to keep checking out these scenes around Bangkok, Thailand, Southeast Asia, consider subscribing. Thank you so much.